Now, I want you to consider 3 sentences, all about oranges, or one orange or sometimes some oranges, and you can see how each time the noun is used in a different way. So, I would like an orange. We need to use the indefinite article if the noun is singular. Firstly, it must be singular. That means there's only one. There must be one if we're going to use a. We can't use it with 2 or 3 or 4. So it must be singular. It also must be countable. You must be able to count this noun. So you can count oranges, you can add an S, it's countable. You can't count emotion. You can't count 2 emotions, 3 emotions, so you can't say an emotion. Okay, so it must be singular and it must be countable and it must be indefinite. What does indefinite mean? Indefinite means not defined. It means you don't know which one, or it doesn't matter which one. Okay? Now, when you say I would like an orange, it doesn't matter the one on the left or the one on the right. Both are oranges and either orange would be fine. So this is why it's indefinite. It doesn't matter which one. If you're in a new town, you don't know this town, and you say, is there a bank near here? Is there a bank? It's because you don't mind if it's Barclays Bank, Lloyds Bank or Midlands Bank. You're happy to go to any bank just to get some money out. So, is there a bank near here? And then somebody may answer, yes, the bank is 100 meters down the street. They say the bank because they are already thinking of a definite place, a definite bank. They have the definite bank in mind, and that's why they say the bank. Because the is for definite things. Is for indefinite things. It doesn't matter which one. Now, I'll quickly tell you how do we use a and an. Well, you should know an is for vowel sounds. If the word starts with a vowel sound like MP, Member of Parliament, and MP. Okay, the letter M is a consonant, but the sound M is a vowel sound. So we say an MP, an umbrella, but we say a uniform, because uniform starts with a Y sound, not a vowel sound. It's a consonant sound. So a uniform, a banana, certainly. B is a consonant, a cat. But an MP, an umbrella, an orange. Okay? Okay, so remember A is for indefinite, the is for definite. However, I said A was for singular and countable. Well, what do we do if we're talking in a plural sense? For example, oranges are tasty. We still don't care which oranges, it still doesn't matter which one, but we're using, when we're saying oranges are tasty, we mean all oranges, and so we need no article there. No article at all. It's the same with some other examples I could give you. For example, men, women. If you want to say women and you mean all women, generally speaking, are safer drivers than men. We do not use an article with women and we don't with men. Why? Because we mean all women and all men. It's indefinite for that reason. It's indefinite. It's plural, so we can't use a or an. Yeah, it's plural, and so we have to use no article because we don't care which women. If we want to define it and use the, we have to define which women. We have to say, the women who I work with are safer drivers than the men who I work with. The women who I work with are safer drivers than the men who I work with. Yeah, than the men. We only need to say than the men, and it's quite clear we mean the men who I work with. Okay? So use the article if you define a certain group in that section. So you're defining a certain group. You're defining which women. You answer which when you use the. Which women? The women who I work with. Which oranges? The oranges in your garden. If you're talking about the oranges in your friend's garden, that defines which oranges. And so now you have a concrete idea of which oranges. You must use the for that reason. You're defining which one. So I need to speak a lot more about the. What other words do we use with the? Well, because it's definite, if there's only one of something, the sun, the moon, we must use the. Okay? The sun, the moon. Because they become definite. I mean, there's only one sun, and so anytime you talk about the sun, it's a definite idea. The sun, the moon. Okay? Anything else which we can think of? The sun, the moon. Let me have a quick look. The Prime Minister. There's only one Prime Minister. The President. Okay? In all of these cases, there's only one. I mean, really, when you define anything, there's only one of them, and so these must always be with the. However, be careful, because other planets are no article. Other planets, for example, Venus, Neptune, Mars, Jupiter. Now, why? I should use capitals here, sorry. Venus, Mars, Jupiter. Why? Why do we use capitals? Because they're names. They're the names of Greek gods. And I want you to always remember, I'm going to start to have to rub out some of this stuff now. Let's just keep that top one there. I want you to remember that names are no article. My name is Dave. Not my name is the Dave, not my name is a Dave, my name is Dave. So names are no article, and these planets, they're names, and that's why we use no article with the planets. Also, you have the names of cities, don't you? You don't say the Moscow, the London, no, just Moscow, London, Paris. So any cities will be here in no article, or towns or villages. One or two exceptions, but forget it. Yes, city, town or village. A country has a name. A continent has a name. Okay? And also, if you have one mountain, I'm going to write one, it has a name. Mont Blanc, or, I don't know, Mount Olympus. And if you have one lake, it has a name. It has no article, sorry. Okay, however, gets more confusing now, because unfortunately seas, oceans and rivers, we all consider it to be only one. I know you might say they have names and so there should be no article. Well, that's not the way we English works, unfortunately. It's not so simple. And so seas, rivers and oceans always use the definite article. For example, the Mediterranean, see? Can I spell it correctly? I hope that that's correct. For rivers, let's try the Nile. And of course, that should have a capital. Because it is a name, really. The Mediterranean, the Nile, and ocean, the Pacific Ocean, let's say. The Pacific Ocean. Okay, so remember that all seas, oceans, and rivers have the article, whereas one lake will have no article. However, a group of lakes will have the article. So groups of lakes, I'm going to put groups of here, because lots of groups we actually use the article. Well, groups of lakes, groups of mountains. For example, the Great Lakes in America. And for mountains, you could say the Himalayas in Asia. Himalayas. Okay. So groups of lakes we use the, groups of mountains we use the, groups of people we use the rich, the poor, the unemployed, the British, the French, the Egyptians, the Spanish. We use the with groups of people, groups of mountains, groups of lakes. I also said countries, we use our no article. Well, there are exceptions here as well, because I'm going to need more space up here. Let's take that part off now. Some countries are over here with the. We say the UK, United Kingdom. That's a group of countries. That's England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. So we say the United Kingdom. We say the United States of America, the USA. It's a group of states, okay? We say the USSR. It's a group of Soviet Socialist republics. And so we have to, it's a union, you know, it's each time, United, Union, sorry, United States of America, Union. So if it's also the European Union, the EU, the European Union. So always use the with a group of states or a group of countries, or even a group of islands, the Canary Islands, you could say, or the Shetland Islands, the Orkney Islands, okay? Any group of island will be the, just like any group of countries will be the. Okay, what else? Many more for the. I want to quickly remind you, superlatives, use the best, the worst, the richest, the poorest. Superlatives, yeah, the best, I'll just put, to remind you what superlative means. You always use the with a superlative. There's still more. Inventions and species. Now I put these together because they're both generic classes. Inventions and species of animals. What do I mean? The TV was invented by a Scotsman. Okay, I'm not going to be able to fit it in there, but the TV was invented by a Scotsman. The TV. We're talking about not this TV or that TV, but the TV as an invention. And you might say the tiger is in danger of extinction. The tiger is in danger of extinction. Yeah, of being wiped out. You mean all of that animal. You don't mean just one particular, you mean a generic class of animals, the tiger. Okay, you're defining it separately from all the other animals, and I suppose that's why we use the definite article. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything with the that I'm going to mention. There's not really much else for me to say with these either. There's one other thing I could mention about school, university, prison. Let me show you what I mean here. This is it doesn't concern a or am, but it concerns no article and the. Sometimes we say the school and sometimes we say school. Sometimes we say the university and sometimes we say university. So why? There are 5 different nouns I want to look at: school, university, church, prison and hospital. Now, if you say my brother is in hospital, well, if you say my brother is in the hospital, it's different, very different from my brother is in hospital. My brother is in hospital means he is a patient, okay? If you use no article, it means he's a patient. If you use the article, it means maybe he's a visitor, maybe he's a doctor, he's not a patient. If you use the article, not a patient. So it's not bad news. Maybe he's just visiting a friend, maybe he's a doctor and he works at the hospital. However, patient, and then you do not use an article. The same for prison. If you say my cousin is in the prison, it's not so bad. Maybe he's a visitor. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, he's probably just visiting, or I don't know, could be another reason, but in prison is bad. It means that unfortunately he is a prisoner. Okay? So really in hospital is bad, in prison is bad. Of course, in school it means he's a pupil, and so it's not bad. in university at the moment, or at university at the moment, both possible. It means that he's a student. Okay, student, pupil. So prisoner. Just remember what it means a person is. No article for patients, for prisoners, for pupils, for students, and for churchgoers. If you're a believer in God and you go to the church to worship God, then we would say you go to church. But if you say you go to the church, it's not because you're a believer necessarily. Okay? Okay, I hope that's clear with those parts. There's probably some other things which I could mention, but that's already a lot. I think that's enough for today. Please ask questions below if you have any, and please subscribe if you like this lesson. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed this lesson and would like to receive more over the next few weeks. Here are some videos on phrasal verbs, auxiliary verbs, tenses, and verb forms as well, like gerunds and 2+ infinitive. Please watch them and try the quizzes below the videos, and I hope that you improve.